Hello, and welcome to another fully live Q&A episode of Hacking with Friends. My name is Kody Kinzie. I am a security researcher at Varonis, today running on Hacker Time, as some of you have pointed out, as a result of my very fussy and delicate laptop. So I've mentioned this laptop before. It's actually died twice already, and this is its third life after being rebooted and having some parts put back together. So it's doing that thing where MacBooks just let out a loud whooshing sigh and just turn off. So if at any point I just disappear, then it probably got tired. So let's be very, very kind and give my little computer a nice round of applause for putting out on stream today. So I'm also a little bit behind today because I was reading up on some research that just came out yesterday from the Varonis Threat Labs team. So I'm going to talk a little bit about some Sharepoint research and how they found some sneaky ways of getting around data exfiltration. So hello to everybody that's been so patient today. We have, like a boss, David Rodrigo. And I'm also curious if there's any Varonis people on the stream. If you're watching on the Varonis LinkedIn channel, let me know, because we have some good Varonis research to go over today. And I'm probably actually going to start with, well, actually, I'll let people trickle in for a little bit longer before I start into the really heavy stuff. But yeah, good to see, good to see everybody in the stream today. Hello, James. So one of the things that's listed on the title today is Bluetooth hacking. And Bluetooth hacking is something that I've been interested in for a long time. Now, I have been interested in microcontrollers and hacking for a very long time. I was kind of looking back on the timeline of my interest in this, and around 2017, 2018, I started getting into microcontrollers and started teaching with them. Around 2019 is when I first started collaborating with other hardware designers on making designs. And then 2020 was really when I first started actually working on custom designs, leading all the way up to 2021, where myself and Alex Lin put together the first designs for the Wi-Fi nugget and eventually turned that into the USB nugget. So Alex has now gone on to do his own project, DevKitty, based on the open source design that we both worked on. And I have been working on something that incorporates some Bluetooth hacking. So Bluetooth hacking is obviously something where, there's a lot of people making interesting things around this. And we had one on the show. If you went to DEF CON or if you went to some of these other hacker conferences, you might have noticed a bunch of spam like Bluetooth pairing requests that was very, very annoying. And the secret behind that was that you could use a lot of these microcontrollers to do some interesting Bluetooth attacks. And that is becoming a subject of more and more study. So I never really made a version of the Nugget that is capable of doing Bluetooth, but we made a couple experimental ones that had the ESP32S3. And we had someone on YouTube, Ryan, aka Catspazio, start making some really interesting tools with this Bluetooth Nugget. So we sent him a kit and he made some like GUI versions where it has a cute little cat on the screen. And when you start doing Bluetooth spoofing, you can do my favorite prank ever. And this is a big credit to Ryan. I think I'm going to do this on the plane today. So if you hear, if you don't hear from me for a while, maybe that's why. You can take one of these little microcontrollers on a plane and then make it look like on everyone around you iPhone as though somebody is about to put on their like Apple Vision Pro. So if you want to see everyone on the plane start looking around to try to find out like which person is going to be their first like in the wild sighting of like using an Apple Vision Pro on a plane, this is something you can do. And I think that's really funny because like I still haven't seen someone using an Apple Vision Pro on the plane. And if I saw a pairing request, first of all, I would try to pair to it really quickly. And then second of all, I would probably start looking around and trying to figure out who on the plane is about to actually go for it, So I'm about to see whether or not that actually works. But it's thanks to Ryan, aka Catspazio, that this has actually been possible. But I actually have never, even though we have like open source designs that we sell, I've never actually stocked one that did Bluetooth. And I started stocking a kit and some people bought it and started making just like cool Bluetooth hacking stuff. So if you're interested in Bluetooth hacking, it's a spooky, interesting little protocol and it's different from Wi-Fi. And I finally have in the first research versions of these little boards. I'm going to kind of show them all small here, but these little guys are not yet open source because we're still testing them, but they will be fairly soon. And they are designed to do some of the cool Bluetooth hacking stuff that Ryan and other people have put out. So I'm really excited to start testing that. And I wanted to bring it to you people in the audience, like, hey, everyone, like, what do you want to do with Bluetooth hacking? What do you think would be really cool? the first thing that comes to mind is building like a phone application so you can access, you know, features like on the board, like Wi-Fi or like, you know, like a bad USB or things like that, and then trigger it via like a, you know, maybe like a phone application. But there is something that a lot of you have been telling me about, and I want to, you know, let you know I do listen to you. I do take a lot of suggestions from the audience, and let me go ahead and share my screen. Let's see. There we go. I wanted to try out, where is it? Where is it? Here we go. Meshtastic. So these little LoRa boards are something that I've been working on, and I kind of kept all of you aware of the progress. You can see my solder paste up here after I solder pasted together these super teeny tiny little components, which, by the way, were not even necessary and are not going to be on the next revision. But this little LoRa module is the key to tons of range, and a lot of hackers are super interested in this. A lot of security people are super interested in this. Like, how do you monitor for threats that could potentially be using a protocol that's completely out of band from what most people are looking for? So I have put these two things together. So this is the new design, which if you're keeping track, the ESP32S2 has a pinout like this, and the ESP32S3 has a pinout like this. So it's actually a little different. Everything red is slightly different, which means some changes. But overall, this update means that I can plug in something like this LoRa paw, use the Bluetooth feature to make it possible to use like a phone to communicate. And then I could have like a Meshtastic messenger potentially on this little board. So if you have any interesting or cool ideas for LoRa, Bluetooth, please let me know. I get a lot of great ideas from the audience. And frankly, I think it's really cool. All right, so we're up to 68 people. That's twice as many people. I'm showing how bad I am at math as when we first started. So I'm going to get into the top news of the week. But let's see. James says, everyone has always said that Bluetooth isn't secure, but it's only recently that we've seen the cracks in security, though. Yeah, no, I would have to say it's definitely illuminating to see how now that so many Bluetooth features are baked in to phones, and also we have all these weird edge cases like AirTags and other like interesting technology, people creating like C2 servers from emulating AirTags and doing all this other cool spooky microcontroller stuff is very, very relevant to security. So that's kind of my field. That's why I like to share some of the cooler stuff I'm working on with you guys, and also talk about other trends. Now, if you've noticed that Meshtastic is super popular and that LoRa is here to stay, it's kind of, there was a lot of these different protocols that came out. It was like Zigbee and some other stuff, and LoRa kind of seems to be the one that ends up being like extremely cheap, and a lot of people I know are using. So that's why I've been covering it the last couple of weeks, and adding Bluetooth into the mix certainly makes things interesting. So Bluetooth, LoRa, Wi-Fi, all packed into a little thing that also has output, so you can add sensors and triggers, and in this case, my very cool, wait, let me pull, where's my mouse? Oh, it's on the wrong screen. In this case, also adding this 16 by 16 grid, so I can do animations and scroll text and stuff like that. That was kind of the goal, to be able to have like somebody from really far away send me a message and have it like scroll out on this like big screen and be able to read it from across the room was kind of the idea. So yeah, lots of cool stuff for hardware coming out. And now that we have all of you captive, 79 people, we're going to go on to some of the cool news that came out this week. All right, so you can see also I've been loading WLED on this new ESP32S3 Bluetooth nugget. So it worked really well, actually. I was happy to see that it actually just installed. All right, so what is this new research that came out from Varonis yesterday? I got read in on this, but I wasn't really aware of how sneaky it truly was until I read the details on this. And if you want to check it out, I will drop the link in the chat today. It is one of those things that I think is just like super cool to see from an expert's perspective, like what constitutes like something really worth doubling down on. So here we're going to talk about SharePoint security and why do we care? Well, first off, when an attacker, any sort of attacker, breaks into an organization, they will try to assess how much access they have. And they'll also try to raise as few alarm bells as possible until they're ready for a moment that lets them do something significant. So that something significant is usually double exploitation ransomware, which means first they exfiltrate the files and then they encrypt everything locally and they try to just basically smash everything as much as they can in a reversible way. Now, the double exploitation means they can also charge to not leak the information. And this is extremely profitable for criminals because it gives you two completely separate levers to attempt to get a business to pay you. So, oh, I also turned off. There we go. Hey, there. So the reason why an attacker then needs to be really stealthy when exfiltrating files is because if they immediately trigger one of these rules, like, hey, there's an excessive amount of downloads, or hey, like a bunch of information is suddenly going out over DNS, that's unusual. Like it's pretty likely they're going to get caught before they do any significant damage. So, what happened here is Verona security researchers found some very sneaky ways that hackers who get access to an environment can download a ton of files the same way that you would expect to download them normally, but not trigger any of the easy access logs that most businesses will be looking for. So here's the scenario. Somebody, an initial access broker, phishes one of your employees and gets access to your system. They then sell that to a ransomware broker who goes through and attempts to download as many things as they possibly can so they can ransom you to not release them. That's going to be confidential information, like all sorts of juicy stuff. If they are able to successfully evade the logs that might trigger a block on their furthered access, they can get the whole thing. So it's really in their interest to learn exactly how this type of attack works and also how to avoid getting caught by these access logs. So here's how it actually works. This is really cool. First, you can open in app. So that means that, let's say you have access on a like a cloud environment and you want to open the file locally, but you're not downloading it to your system. You're basically forwarding it on to the application. That leaves a completely different audit trace than just downloading it manually. So it's actually possible to use a PowerShell script to make it so that all of the access that you're doing looks as though it is coming through an app. And that means that unless an organization is specifically looking for not just downloads, but also access, they're going to miss this and they're going to be completely surprised when potentially terabytes of information leaves the organization and they have no idea why. Pretty cool. I mean, for attackers anyway. So the second one is the SkyDrive Sync user agent. So what this means is if you are syncing something or if something is being synced to an application, and I'll give you an example here. Let's say that you have access to something in your OneDrive and you have a copy of that folder on your desktop. If that is basically synced automatically from your online account to your desktop account by an application, that also leaves a completely different audit log. It does not look like a download event. So unless the organization that is potentially being exfiltrated here has specific monitoring for not just downloads, but also access, you might completely miss this because it looks like a sync event instead of a download event. So the secret behind this is really stupid, as is most really good security research. If you just spoof your user agent to Microsoft SkyDrive Sync, that's it. Game over. Like you can actually download anything you want without triggering a download link. Now, of course, for any company that has more advanced monitoring, this is still going to be detectable, right? If one person starts accessing literally every file they have access to in the entire company all of a sudden, that's kind of a red flag, even if they're not downloading it. But most organizations have pretty simple rules that they're looking for scary exfiltration or anything like that. So as a result, they would very probably actually miss this sort of activity. So I thought this was particularly good research. It was simple, it's effective, and it's not patched. So Verona's researchers disclosed this to Microsoft in November 2023, and they designated these techniques as a moderate security fix and added the vulnerabilities to the backlog program. In April 10th of 2024, Microsoft, is that today? Okay, today, Microsoft closed out the ticket for the Sharepoint method as by design and believes the customers do not need to take action. This functionality will remain in Sharepoint deployments until further notice. So what does that mean? It means that they're not going to fix it. So everything in this document can be kind of treated as a potentially an active thing that they need to be aware could be exploited. And Microsoft has decided that if you're not looking for this, it's on you. So again, most people or most organizations are going to be looking for a whole bunch of downloads or something specifically very suspicious like that. They might not be looking for sync events, and an overactive syncing thing might not trigger any alarm bells. Like, if a bunch of documents are being accessed, but it's by what looks like an automatic like application. So that's why this research is particularly interesting. And that's why I think this was probably the most interesting thing I've seen all week. So I dropped the link in the chat. I highly recommend you check this out if you're interested in exfiltration methods that hackers will probably find very valuable in the immediate future, seeing as Microsoft has not patched this. Typically, when we see releases like this, we in a couple of weeks we'll see that this has been actively used in exploitation. Just because like this has been around for a while, people obviously know about this, and the fact that Microsoft has decided it's not a problem at this point, anybody who is afraid of this kind of exfiltration really needs to start looking for it to make sure that they're not going to miss it, because now it's kind of common knowledge, and on top of that, it's not going to be fixed. So pretty juicy and very cool. All right, that is the majority of what I have to go through today because I am traveling. So you might not see the stream for at least the next week because I'm going to be out of town and off for a little bit. However, I will be active on Twitter and everything, so you will see some updates from me. In addition, I'm also going to be doing a small giveaway. So these nuggets that I was talking about early in the show, the Bluetooth ones, I'm going to be giving away 5 of them to people in our Discord server who have interesting and cool ideas for what they want to do with them. We've got a couple projects already working, like WLED and the USB nugget in general. However, I want to see what people think. So you can check out nugget.dev if you want to participate. We will be announcing that in the next couple days, and it's always such a great community already in our Discord server, and I wanted to thank everybody there for their great ideas and contributions, including a nugget case with the LED covered up, so it's no longer as blinding as people have been complaining about for a long time. So I've been encouraged to see some really cool community contributions, and yeah, it's been awesome to have people active in the Discord server. So that is most of what I have today. I'm going to take a couple questions. However, I have a flight in like an hour, so I've got to get out of here because I have not actually packed. But let's see. Looks like we lost Kody. Uh-oh. Well, hopefully that was just for you and not for me. Not for everybody. I think that this computer is actually behaving itself a little bit now. But yes, the reason we started the stream today is a loud whooshing noise that caused the computer to completely turn off. So if you have any questions about LoRa, Bluetooth, this SharePoint research, or just hacking in general, I've got another 5-10 minutes until I'm going to sign off. So Tai Kwangong, good to see you as well. We have a lot of regulars on the stream today. And again, if there's any Varonis people that are watching on LinkedIn, please give me a shout out. Let me know. What do you think about this new research? Like, are you going to be talking about it? Is it something that you understood? Because it took me maybe like a full read through and like a little bit of thinking to like fully understand what they were talking about. It'd be cool to hear, because I thought this was a really impactful piece of research, and I like to hear what the community thinks. Let's see. Can you explain the Blue Ducky Bluetooth Android vulnerability? No, I can't, because I haven't heard of it. I'm gonna have to look that up. But it is something that I want to check out now, seeing as it seems right up my alley. Hope you've been doing well, bro. Yeah, no, I've been all right. I'm looking forward to getting some of these prototypes out. There's a lot of conferences coming up, so I'm kind of like gathering my energy, getting ready to go to the RSA conference. The RSA conference is simultaneously like incredibly fun and very stressful. San Francisco is also like not as fun to walk around at night as it used to be for whatever reason. I don't know. It just seems a little bit more spooky than it used to be. So yeah, it's going to be really cool. If anybody here is also going to go to the RSA conference, Varonis is going to have an absolutely massive booth, and there's a lot that's going to be going on there. So looking forward to seeing maybe some of you at the booth at Varonis, and also I'll be recording some content there. So if you want to be on the show, we'll have plenty of opportunities. And of course, since it is RSA, plenty of prizes. So go on, get your wardrobe for the entire year. I am looking forward to clothing myself completely in InfoSec brands that are putting out shirts, and hopefully we'll be able to get some shirts in my size before it's just like XXS and then XXXXL. But yeah, that's gonna be really fun. And then after that, we're going to be attending the Layer 1 conference later in May. That is going to be also super fun. I really enjoy traveling to Pasadena. I know tons of people there because that's where I went to school, and it's gonna be cool to see the gang again and get to do some fun CTF stuff there. All right. Let's see. Do, do, do. Okay, I think that is most. James asked, what is the answer to this SharePoint vulnerability thing? So if you're just joining, or if you didn't see, we were talking a little bit about this exfiltration technique that Varonis had disclosed yesterday that Microsoft is not going to fix. And the answer is, in my opinion, if you were looking for downloads, you also need to look for unusual access. So access versus downloads like is a little controversial because there's a lot of like backend syncing and other things that might be going on in a SharePoint environment that kind of potentially hide this. But being able to detect unusual access is really like the key thing here, because most of the time people will be smart enough to avoid triggering like really common detection methods, like just an excessive amount of downloads, because they're looking for insider threats, not even necessarily like ransomware affiliates, you know? So like if somebody is smart enough to make it look like an application is syncing and you see a bunch of unusual access by that person, but it's presumably by like a third party, like a sync agent, that needs to be part of the detection plan, because this kind of sneaky maneuvering is now, again, common knowledge. So in order to prevent this sort of thing, again, you just need to tweak your detection to also look for these two different types of access instead of just relying on downloads to indicate a whole bunch of information being gathered or exfiltrated from an organization, usually in preparation for a larger attack, like a ransomware attack. All right, so that is just about what I have time for today. I'm sorry to get everyone all riled up. We have 130 people on the stream now. But yeah, I am heading to the airport, and I am notoriously late for the airport, as I will be today. So just wanted to hop on and answer some questions, talk about this cool research, and also, you know, talk about the Bluetooth hacking stuff that I have been working on, and also that I've been adapting from some other cool people that we've had on the stream. Hopefully, we'll have them on the stream again soon. So, all right, everyone, I will hopefully see you not next week, but probably at the beginning of the next week after that. So, yeah, as always, if you want to support the stream and if you want the stream to keep coming back, please let everyone know that you like it by going to varonis.com/Kody. That's Kody. And it is a free way you can let everyone here know that you appreciate us getting together twice a week to talk about security stuff, including the news. So I will see y'all in a while. All right, goodbye, everyone.